hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin.
Hi guys, I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining me. Here's an update about the election. I was rather shocked to read about this on the New York Times. Donors said to freeze roughly $90 million as long as Biden stays in the race. This is the most extreme example yet of the fallout from President Biden's poor debate performance and several blunders he did at the NATO summit. Some major Democratic donors have told the largest pro-Biden super PAC, Future Forward, that roughly $90 million in pledged donations is now on hold if Biden remains atop the ticket, according to two people who have been briefed on the conversations. The frozen contributions come as he has hoped to turn the page on the week-long crisis within his party. Following a nearly hour-long news conference on Thursday evening, that appearance in which he delivered a few gaffes, but also demonstrated a command of foreign policy, did not immediately seem to worsen Democratic fears about his viability, but it also did not silence the calls for him to drop out. After he was done speaking, 3 more House members joined the ranks of elected Democrats, calling for Mr. Biden to end his campaign. Reactions to Mr. Biden's high-profile news conference were mixed. The president delivered a complete presentation, and his performance in the unscripted setting heartened some of his supporters. One of his key allies, Representative Jay Clyburn, said on Friday that the party should stop talking about whether the president is fit to run and respect his decision to stay in the race. If he stepped aside, Mr. Clyburn, the Democrat from South Carolina, said he would absolutely endorse Vice President Kamala Harris as the nominee. Ashley Judd on Friday became the latest prominent celebrity to call for Mr. Biden to step aside, saying that in her native Tennessee, Americans have already made up their minds against President Biden. Many in Mr. Biden's stable of big donors in Hollywood have closed their wallets. A few of the so-called gaffes that he's done lately is that he mixed up Kamala Harris with Donald Trump after doing the same with Zelensky and Putin.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin.
He said that his running mate was Vice President Trump, and he introduced the president of Ukraine as President Putin. Mr. Biden was asked by a Reuters reporter if he had concerns about Ms. Harris' ability to beat former President Donald J. Trump. That is, if he stepped aside, something he has said over and over that he will not do despite pressure from many within his party. Biden said, "Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president if I didn't think she was qualified to be president," he said. The other gaffe earlier in the evening, when he was introducing President Zelensky of Ukraine as President Putin after meeting of the NATO leaders in Washington. Mr. Biden said, "I want to hand it over to the President of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he does determination," Mr. Biden said from the podium with Mr. Zelensky at his side. "Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin." Mr. Biden stepped away before realizing his mistake. "President Putin?" Mr. Biden said as he returned to the microphone. "We're going to beat President Putin, President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we gotta worry about it anyway." Mr. Biden turned to shake Mr. Zelensky's hand. The Ukrainian president joked, "I'm better," to which Mr. Biden replied, "You are a hell of a lot better." Mr. Biden's remarks mixing up Mr. Putin and Mr. Zelensky, which roughly happened around 5:40 p.m. Eastern Time. Well, they say he's always at the top of his game before 8 p.m., and it was aired on ABC, CBS, NBC at their 6:30 p.m. newscast, the most watched news programs in the country. So now they're freezing the money. The funds have been designated to help Democratic representatives who have either called for Mr. Biden to stand down or have suggested that the party and the country would be better off if he did so. The beneficiaries so far are expected to include Angie Camp of Minnesota, Jared Golden of Maine, Marie Gluenskamp, Pierre of Washington, Pat Ryan of New York, and Hillary Sholden of Michigan. Ms. Gluenkamp Perez issued a statement on a television station in her district Thursday, suggesting that Mr. Biden should not only drop his re-election bid, but reconsider his fitness for the presidency, seemingly a step farther than other Democrats. I don't think he's fit. I still would like to have an answer to why there was 8 visits to the White House by a Parkinson doctor. So what are your thoughts? Put your comments down below. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.